Good evening. Welcome to Brains Behind the Beauty. I am Portia Cosby, your host tonight. Tonight I have two guests. We have Felicia Bennett, who is an HR consultant, and we have Leanne Joshua White, who is an entrepreneur. So get ready, y'all. It's going to be some good conversation. We are going to get into a little bit of everything per usual, but we're also going to touch on, how being in a sorority affects your path sometimes. Also, HBCUs versus PWIs, right? Which education is better, so to speak, and doesn't really matter. But all linking to us having the brains behind the beauty. So let's get into it, ladies. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So how did y'all celebrate? Like, what did y'all do?
Well, I actually went out, bought champagne for myself, some cider for my kids, and I fell asleep on the couch watching anime with my daughter.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
fair enough. What time did you fall asleep, though?
Probably like 10, 11 o'clock, something like that.
You know we're getting old.
Yeah.
We're getting old. Right.
I should have took
Listen,
it earlier.
That's very true. Very true. What about you, Felicia?
Girl, I actually was asleep. But I set my alarm at 11:55 and woke up
Okay.
to say my prayers and then just went right back to sleep.
See, it's so precious, ain't it? I was up.
Okay.
I was up. I probably wouldn't have been up if we stayed home, but we went to our friend's house and just kind of kicked it with them, played some games, and then went on home. We probably didn't get home until almost 3 though.
Oh.
We was doing it like we was 25.
Well, wait,
Yeah.
how late did you sleep in the next day?
For a minute, probably till 10 or something silly, which is usually crazy because I'm up at 6 by accident most days. But yeah, my body was like, no, ma'am, we're going to stay right here.
You need your strong set hours. Okay.
Sit down, lay down.
Bless you.
Yeah. No, I don't. But I mean, I guess that's smart considering people shooting and doing all kind of crazy stuff on New Year's Eve night. So
Yeah, definitely won't
3
leave it
o'clock.
right in the middle of it all. No.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because you don't know what's out there. Ain't nobody got time.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right. Understand.
I've been hit with a shell at the gun range on my leg, and I was like, oh, so if that's what the shell looked like, feels like I don't want it.
You don't want none of that.
I don't want no
smoke?
real bullet.
No.
Literally don't want the smoke. Hello. So did y'all make any resolutions or anything like that? Like any big plans for 2021?
I didn't because I made plans for 2020 and you see how that year went.
Okay,
But I'm just staying resolute in my prayers and letting God kind of direct my path and just like my mom and my grandma used to say, it's about just being still and listening and going where I feel led as opposed to pushing my way through.
Yeah.
And it's actually been working for me for the last 15, 16 months.
Yes,
so I've
we
been
gonna
living
get
in that.
into it. Yes. Plans?
So, I'm being more intentional about things, more conscious about things. I actually bought a prayer journal, a 52-week prayer journal
Okay.
that focuses on different things. So a part of it is reflecting from the previous week, writing down what you're praying for and putting the date and then going back to when your prayers are being answered. And
I like that.
also focus on what you're praying for exactly. Like if I'm praying for someone specific or praying about something or whatever it may be. So it's been, today was
Okay.
my first day doing it, of course, week 1.
Yeah.
I'm loving it already. I can't wait to
That's
do
pretty
this every
cool.
week and keep up with my progress. Keep myself in check too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that. See,
And
I might need that.
accountability.
Hello.
Yeah,
Like I said I was gonna do this and then it happened. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
and I have quite a few friends who are also doing the journal with. So
Okay.
we're
That's
all
kind of nice. I might
That's
need a link
nice.
for that because
Yeah.
I might need
Okay.
that.
Amazon.
Yes. Yes.
That's what's up. I like
Right. And see, I'm the one still trying to fill out my becoming journal from Michelle Obama. Her
Ma'am.
I'm becoming
That
in
was a few years ago.
2021. I was distracted last year. Thank you very much.
that. Hey.
Now you're on Barack's book. I need you to catch up, sis.
It's okay. It's gonna do it. This the year. So my phrase for the year is make time. That's
Okay.
my biggest thing. The word for the year is discipline because I have none, and I can say that, and that's just what it is. Whether it's working out, I know what to do. I went to school. My studies were related to that. Hello, but you know, I get to the point where even just dieting, you know, or, you know, just trying to at least make better choices, I'll get to the point where I'm like, who's going to stop me from getting a hamburger? I want one. Who's going to check me?
Yeah.
Mic check real quick. Somebody said drop the link to the journal.
Oh, okay. Of course, I will. I'll get it.
Yeah. So we'll do that towards the end of the show. We're going to try to remember to do that. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about life, you know, what life is like for you ladies. So let's start off with career. Okay. So what I found really cool was that both of you ladies have interesting paths, you know, to getting where you are today. So I would say let's start off with Felicia. Let's start with you. What made you choose a career in HR? Like, why HR?
Okay, so it wasn't the exact path that I thought I was going to be traveling on. My bachelor's degree is in nutrition. So I originally wanted to be a dietitian.
Okay.
And I really wanted to do sports dietetics. But the last semester that I was in undergrad, I really didn't have any more classes, major, that I was taking. So obviously I wasn't about to change majors and figure it out because I happened to get a job in HR. And I loved it so much that I took the prereqs needed to get into grad school. And then I got my MBA in HR management.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it was definitely a different career path. I do still have a good bit of friends who are dietitians. So we bounce ideas off of each other. You know, I know what to eat, how
Gotcha.
to, you know, focus on that part of my life. But I truly love HR because you really do get to know people, not just from the hiring and firing part, but you truly get to know people as individuals and know them from their life's high, having children, to sometimes their life low whenever they lose someone, unfortunately. So it's just nice to be that person they can always come and talk to and be there for them.
Ooh-wee, I can only imagine the stuff that you have to take on and the stuff
Right.
you hear, and you know, it's like, wow, okay, you know, but that's nice to know that people can confide in you as well, you know, and feel comfortable with that. And that does take a special type of person, regardless of whether it's like go see HR. It's like sometimes I might not want to talk to that one. Give me the other person.
Right.
It
Right.
has been like that. But,
Really, yeah.
oh gosh. Yes.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So, like you mentioned, the hiring and firing, right? So for me, HR is pretty much a bunch of that, and you know, of course, onboarding and offboarding. What else would you say? Like, is there something else that happens in the HR position that we wouldn't even think of?
Besides the benefits part of it, a lot of times I actually would go out to different offices and just work at those offices for the day because I never wanted to be the type of person who they only knew through email or through a phone call. And I like to build interpersonal relationships with everyone that I come in contact with. So that was, for me, that's one segment of it. And then it's also just making sure the behind the scenes run smoothly, making sure people are getting paid, making sure their benefits are in the system. If there are one-off situations, making sure that I'm working with the benefit broker to make sure that that person is taken care of because it is a one-off situation. Also, the development part of a potential leader. Even when you and I was at the same organization, a lot of times I would have students who were going to PA or med school and they would want to practice interviewing with me. So it can be from counseling managers on how to handle situations to being that person who stay late to help a potential PA or doctor, you know, get ready for the interview.
Nice.
So
I like
it's a
that.
whole gamut of things that you can do.
Okay.
Interesting.
Awesome. Miss Leanne, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us about, you know, your grown up jobs. You know what I mean? Like your path.
My path has definitely been kind of all over the place. For 10 years, I was working for the number 2 beer company in the country, Miller Coors, and I started there as an admin on a basically. I was kind of uprooted my life from Indianapolis and moved back to Chicago. And I say, hey, you know, I need a job. Let me find something. I have 2 little kids, and they're dependent on me. And I had an interview for this job, and they said, hey, it's just a short-term opportunity. And I said, okay, fine. I know me.
Okay.
So I got in as this admin, and maybe like the last week of my assignment, they said, well, hey, can you fill in for the VP of pricing? Her admin is out. And I was like, okay, cool, not a problem. So as I'm filling in for her, and I'm just kind of seeing the way this woman moves, like I already admired her wardrobe, like shoes, dresses, bags.
Okay,
She
she was
had
fly.
all of that. And, she would do something where she would write down every thought that she had, every random thought. She would write it down. And she said, well, can you just type it up for me? And I said, okay, not a problem. So I did that. And then there was another executive where he was just like, hey, they're hounding me about, well, the expense system is hounding me about a receipt. Can't find it. And I said, oh, okay, well, let me see what I can do. And I've always been the type of person where I go out and get it done. You ask me something, I'm going to deliver it, whatever it is. I found this receipt that he had been trying to find for months. And this other admin hadn't. And he was just like, thank you. I was just like, no problem. And my last day came up, and they were like, I was like, well, it was nice working with you. They was like, what? I was like, yeah, this is my last day. They said, no, show up Monday. We'll find something for you. And that kind of, that 6-week assignment turned into a 10-year tenure with this company where it, my salary doubled. It paid for a move for my family from Chicago to Indianapolis to Atlanta, where for about like 7 months, I was in 3 cities within a week, and I did it for like 6 months. And then we finally got permanent here in Atlanta. We've been here for the last 7 years. But my time with the company was up December of 2019.
Okay.
And I miss it, but I haven't looked back. And the last year I was there, I decided, well, my kids act. And I was like, let me take classes so I can help them.
Nice.
And all my life, my family's like, oh, you so dramatic. And I would do stage plays, and, I would just turn into people and just do stuff. And so I started taking classes, and I loved it. It's like, people say, oh, well, you're an actor. And it's like, oh, anybody can do that. But it's so cerebral that it's like, you're thinking and you're stepping into somebody else's shoes. So it's like each word on this paper, this script is intentional. So it's like, how do you differentiate that from the next person and how they would portray it to make it feel real? And so just the classes and the teachers and just like the so many life lessons I found and, ways I've been able to kind of use it as a way to release a lot of experiences that I've had. I found it in this journey of acting, and I love it. So that's one thing that I've been doing. And then my daughters and I, we started a business where we customize T-shirts and all kind of items. So it's like, I made this.
Drop the link.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the White Twins Official on Facebook, and on Instagram it's _ the White Twins with a Z. But yeah, it's like, so my career path has kind of been, this journey.
Yeah.
Where it's like I was so busy trying to please others in my corporate life, but now that I'm working it for myself as an entrepreneur, because I can't just say, well, I'm only an actor or a business owner, because I do so many things that, this last year and a half has just been about fulfilling myself. And when I said earlier that, it's just following where I feel like I've been led, it's like something in my spirit was preparing me for this before it had to happen.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
And so it's like I'm just following that inside myself, because as a Black woman, so many times you kind of second guess like what you're doing, and is it the right thing? And well, is it the right thing for my family? Is it the right thing for my kids? Is it the right thing? But it's like, this was the right thing for me. And I'm just going to ride this until the wheels fall off. And my husband say like, look, hey,
ma'am, you don't need to.
Real quick, ladies, I got a couple of comments for y'all. Lalia, I believe that's your daughter, maybe.
oh,
She said, yay, mom, with a heart. Taisha Jackson says, my go-to HR friend, feels so proud of you.
Aww.
And Devin Winfrey, looking good. Free Felicia, the HR queen, that always is great resource.
Yes, support.
And, so we get support, y'all.
Absolutely.
And ladies, y'all got like 57 people watching right
Okay.
now.
I'm loving
up.
it. Hey y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So Leanne mentioned, being a Black woman and the experience that just goes along with really life in general, right? But definitely with our decisions and I would say especially decisions within our career. Being in HR, do you feel like you have to represent us in certain situations?
Honestly, there are times, yes, because I have been sitting in the boardroom and I've been not only the only woman, but also the only minority as well. So it has to, it's like I almost have to think about the woman side and the Black side of it. But I also know that I can't carry the weight of the entire Black population on my shoulders if I am in a situation. So I just have to reflect and do what's best for me and those who I'm working with at that time. Because at the end of the day, you won't please everybody, but I just have to make sure I'm pleasing myself and putting my best foot forward.
Got you. And so I don't know if you recall this. There was a situation.
It's always the
There's
situation.
always a situation. And I'm in management. And so there's this weird vibe sometimes that happens where, I do sometimes feel like, okay, the Black woman, like you have to be a certain way or whatever, but I can only be me, right? But then there are awkward moments that happen and I usually don't know how to act. So you and I were in a moment one time together and a certain individual comes up to us who's also in management and of the Caucasian persuasion. And she's speaking about a meeting that she and I attended, but she's talking to you about it. And in the comments, she says how ghetto the young ladies were. And I remember I wasn't ear hustling, but you can only help, but and so she was right there. And I'm like, did she just say ghetto? Wait, oh no. And I remember the first thing I thought was, what is Felicia thinking right now? You know what I mean? And like you were so poised and you held it together as, pretty much have to do, right? In those settings, and you were like, oh, really? So then said person pulls me into it. She was like, don't you remember that? And so I kind of had to, I said, so I don't really recall what you're talking about. I said, I do remember the conversation went a certain way. I said, but I didn't have any issues out of them. But, and I was just kind of like, wow, like that was just a very bold comment to make. And though it technically wasn't, saying the Black ghetto girls, it was implied. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, though. Why is it that ghetto is always
It's
automatically a Black person?
Yeah, it bothered me to my core. And I just looked at her like, really? I was disappointed more so than anything that that's really what she could come up with to describe the situation.
Being in those type of situations, especially typically being the only Black person or a Black woman in it, to me, it just comes to their ignorance because we oftentimes have to navigate through not only Black spaces, but Asian spaces and white spaces. So when we have to navigate those same waters to make sure oftentimes other people are comfortable, other races don't necessarily have to make sure that we are as comfortable. So they're way more comfortable saying things that we would probably never say out loud, especially in a work environment, especially referencing employees at that point, because they're no longer potential employees, they're employees. So in situations like that, it's one of those, I'm not one to address things in that moment because I know how I can be, and I've been reformed.
She is.
I love that. She brought it back, y'all. She brought it back.
Yes. Sometimes you got to bring it in.
That's what you got to do.
Take a breath.
So whenever it can come up and you do get that one-on-one time, that you can use it as the educating moment to say, hey, this is why this is probably not something that you should say to describe someone. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of it's about education.
Yeah,
But I
and
mean,
yep.
I understand. You know, I don't miss being in those environments in corporate America because I too used to be the only black woman. And they would think, oh, well, you're an admin. But I'm like, well, I was an admin 10 years ago. I work myself up now where I'm a revenue management analyst and I'm over a budget of $20 million. And
With the receipts.
can you please, just not look at me like, I'm going to get the coffee
The help.
or be surprised that as a black woman that's
I'm
right.
gonna say it.
Yeah, that's my role. But I did notice, every company has different cultures. And,
Yes, very true.
it's like, I felt like before I left, they were starting to kind of pay attention. But I think with the recent events of 2020, it was like shoved in their face. Like you
Rip
have
the
to,
Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
you have to. But, you know, I feel like the spotlight is still kind of more on the struggle of the black man as opposed to the black woman. But in corporate America, black women, we're fighting against it all, and, from our hair, the way we dress, the way we talk, it's just like everything. It's like, why must I be a battle? Why must every day be a battle? Like,
sure. Oh my gosh.
I'm natural. And I've been in situations where I'm like, well, why'd you wear your hair like that today?
Wow.
And it's like, well, because that's how it turned out.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And,
like,
it's like when
understand
when natural was like kind of new. One person even said, "Dang, your hair is kind of like buckwheat." I was like, "Buckwheat." I was like, "Excuse me."
Oh.
So I just chalked that up to
This is
ignorance. And then the more and more I spoke to this person, the more and more I was just like, you know what? I think you secretly like black women.
There's a fascination for sure for
And
some people.
because you're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that's not okay. So you just kind of on the outside looking in, and that was your only character reference.
Gotcha. What? Wow. Ain't that something though?
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
it's like
something.
sometimes you got to call a spade, and just like, yeah, you're ignorant, and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
And you know what? I will speak to you just so I can try to educate you.
For sure. I think
little
that's
bit.
important. Some people like to pop off and they're like, oh, you better than me because I was like, no, I mean, you have to understand because I did grow up in white spaces, quite frankly. I'd never known a neighborhood to only have black people in it. That's never been my experience. And so it's interesting because my boyfriend is from Detroit and he talks about how, like, the whole school is black. I'm like, really? That'd be amazing.
Exactly.
What's that look like? But when he came to visit my mom for the first time, he was so shocked at like the neighborly connection. That's when we first had the conversation. And he was like, I didn't grow up like this. This is so crazy. Like, because, the older white man next door was like in my mom's yard, like picking up her leaves and doing all this stuff for her and laying on the ground and helping out. And, and he's like,
Yeah, that's weird.
and he's
It's
like, so
different.
this is what y'all do. I'm like, what do you mean?
That's different.
And it was always mixed spaces for me. And so it's just interesting. I was like, y'all, sometimes people just don't know. And it took me working at a place that wasn't so mixed. I was the only black adult in the whole school district. And that was interesting to see.
The only black
The
adults?
only black adult.
Wow.
Everybody knew Portia. I'm like,
Wow.
all right. Hey, y'all, are we good here? And I mean, best experience ever. And what was cool was one of my former students wrote about me for Black History one time. She's like, y'all talk about all the other folks, but we got some other Black history. And, and I was like, don't make me cry. But it was interesting to know that I was the first black person, especially their parents, had ever had a real conversation with.
Wow.
It was so deep.
Wow.
It was so deep. But you mentioned hair, right? And so I know, hello. This is a lot, right? But in these spaces, sometimes I think it's very important for us to represent ourselves and be tasteful. I always tell people, I've had employees ask me when I'm going to hire them, they're like, is it okay? Is my hair fine? And then one girl was natural. She's like, 'cause I'm natural. I said, so let me tell you something. You talking to somebody who has half her head shaved. So, I said, my biggest thing is always make sure you are presentable. You need to look good. Make sure your hair is neat. I'm fine with that. I said, you don't have a problem. But then I've heard stories, within the organization, um, outside of the one that I work for, and there have been issues, like kind of similar, a shaved side of the hair or whatever. Have you ever had to deal with something like that, something sensitive to where it's like, okay, so and so's hair, can you address it? And it's something that they don't really understand. Have you had to be that bridge?
My hair is straight right now because I chopped it off last month, but I've been wearing my hair wash and go with its natural curls. And when we were still working together, depending on the week and my mood, I would either do straight or curly. So for me, if someone were to come to me with that, I personally wouldn't get it because I flip back and forth with my hair so often that but no, I don't think I've ever had. I'm sure there have been remarks, but given how either I'm straight or curly, I've never gotten anything.
Gotcha.
But like you said, as long as the hair is neat and presentable and, presentable in a professional way.
Absolutely.
And I think that it made a difference with me being a part of orientation, and I had my hair in its natural state.
Okay.
And, other Black women would come in and they see it, their hair is natural. So now we've sparked up a whole conversation. What products you use?
There we go.
So,
That's good.
It's that comfortness too. So
that's good.
So let me ask this question. So do you feel that you get treated differently depending on how your hair is, whether it's straight or curly? Or have you ever gotten, I didn't even recognize you when you go from the curly to the, it's like my face is the same.
I didn't recognize you 100% yes on that. Yeah.
Your hair different.
Megan said, wear different hair, change it up.
Make it feel like you cheating.
I don't want to ride past a woman the next day because she got her hair done like something different.
I can see that happening.
We special.
Yeah.
We special.
I mean,
that's that Black girl magic though.
Right. But you know what? It's the same thing for guys. Cause like if a guy goes like back in the day when they would wear their hair braided and then they would get a haircut, you're like, oh my God.
New person.
Right. You look good. So.
Or the beard. I had to tell some of my female friends, I said, be careful because sometimes, you cute with the beard, but find an old picture. Just saying.
That's true.
Not an old picture.
Without the beard. I need to see you beardless.
I'm just saying. You got people like Chris Rock. No, not at all.
It just adds
because I've seen other
dimension.
Like Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All this covered up. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
But then you remember.
Pookie. Like, never mind. It's all an illusion. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
Yes.
So let's see. Acting. I wanted to ask you, are there any roles that you just refuse to even consider? Because I know you're new to the game, but so are you kind of like, hey, I'm willing to kind of try anything? Or are you like,
I draw the line in nudity. I've been in productions where they're like, hey, how do you feel about same-sex kissing? And I'm just like,
oh. I'm like, oh.
It's like, for me,
Yeah.
It wouldn't even really be so much like how I would feel. It's like if I'm comfortable with the person, because when you acting or you're scene partners or, you going through a production with somebody, you kind of develop a relationship. Mm-hmm. But it's like, well, it's still the back of my mind. Like, how would I feel like if my mom or my husband, like, oh, so you kissing girls now? I'm like, ah.
Yeah, the separation. You're like,
yeah. Or even my kids to see that. So that's kind of like, I'm not gonna say no.
Right.
It's just like I would just have to feel comfortable with it. Sense. But then, at the end of the day, I know my sexuality.
Right.
So I'm strong enough to be like, well, it's a part. Okay, I can do this.
Yeah. And that, I think that would stretch your limits too, quite frankly, because it's like, okay, I'm an artist and here we go.
Yeah.
Action.
But it's even more than that though. It's just kind of really exploring a different side of you because, I'm as a woman, I'm like, I'm confident enough to say, you look good.
Absolutely.
Like, sis, you got a nice body. When
Yeah.
you got, I was like, dang, she long. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
you know, but
We can, as women, as
heels.
confident women, we
Yeah.
can compliment each other.
I could
Yeah,
be, you
for
know,
sure.
like what video was it? I think you may have commented
I was about to say-
the anaconda video.
Yes,
I was like,
girl.
Nikki, oh yeah.
Let me
yeah,
tell
I
you
was just
something.
like,
I
and
was
you
like,
know,
how'd she do
I
that?
was like, she was, you know, so you know, I mean, I can appreciate the female form, so
Yes,
it's
for
like,
sure.
you know,
You
the
wouldn't be
single
totally.
me that don't have to worry about anybody else,
Yeah.
I would be cool with.
Yeah, I got
You
you.
know,
But it's
it's-
like the perception of family and stuff, and making sure that they.
But you know, my family always got something to say about
Well,
something.
so
So,
there's
it's
that.
like, look, y'all
They
mad I
probably
made
wouldn't be-
spaghetti. So it's like, you know, what's the level of anger gonna be? So I'm just saying. So
Mhm.
it's
It is what it is. Live
it
your
is.
life.
Yeah,
Now, have you had like just a regular kissing scene yet?
I have not.
Okay.
So I actually did a play called Three Way Love over the summer, and
Okay.
it was Zoom. It was a Zoom play.
Okay.
And it was like one of the first time that they did it, and I did it with my yacht productions and my scene partner. Oh my God, it was like this beautiful man, and I was just like, he was out in L.A.
Oh.
and
okay.
we had a sex scene
On Zoom.
on Zoom.
Interesting.
And it was just like, you know, we had to get into it
I'm
with
like,
the
how'd that go?
sounds and,
No.
you know, the angles and,
Yeah.
you know, all this other stuff. And it's like my husband's in the room
Oh,
right
Lord.
over from me. And he just like,
no.
at one point in one of the scenes, it got so intense. He came in like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's going on? And I was like, shh, I'm acting. You know, and it was kind of funny, you know,
Oh, my
afterwards. But it's
gosh.
like, you know, we were kind of into it. So
Wow.
it's like,
That's
So,
deep though.
can I ask- so would your husband prefer you doing a scene with a woman or a man?
Oh, that's
See,
a good question.
you know what, knowing my husband, he'd probably be okay with the woman. Knowing my husband, he was like, I'm not worried about that. You know? So,
I think you should do that one.
yeah, that's okay.
Take that role.
You know, like him. Nope.
Marcus Atkins says, "Yep, she's telling the truth. I was one of the directors of the Three Way Love."
Okay.
Hey, Marcus.
She said, "Hey, Marcus."
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's switch it up real quick. So let's get into like the big debates, you know, among Black folks, right?
Uh-oh.
So
There's a
everybody
lot of
knows,
those.
right? So above the ladies' heads, you see their respective alma maters. So there's always this conversation about, you know, Black people who go to an HBCU versus a PWI. For those of you who don't know what a PWI is, I guess, or a HBCU. So historically Black college, excuse me, or a predominantly white institution. There's sometimes a debate on, you know, are you Black enough if you went to a PWI, or like, you know, you didn't get the real experience. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I know there have to be two different experiences, but I want to ask you ladies, what made you choose the college that you went to? Did you consider, you know, multiple types of colleges and universities, or were you set on going to one versus another, one being like, you know, historically Black college, or, you know, a predominantly white institution? We'll start with you.
So just like everything else, it was an interesting journey. I actually started off at University of New Orleans, and this was in fall of 2005. And then Hurricane Katrina hit, and I actually moved back home and kind of started over again, because essentially that semester was a wash. I mean, we did start back school, and that's how I ended up at Southern. And the crazy part is I grew up going to all of Southern stuff. We had season tickets. We went to everything. But the interesting part is that my mom actually went to Grambling. So, and she still had her season tickets for Grambling as well. But we still, you know, went to Southern. It's in Baton Rouge. I'm from Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. So at the time I was like, am I really making the best decision for myself? Mm-hmm. But from K through 12, I was a minority. And so my outlook was, this is the only chance in my life, essentially, I will be the majority in a space like this. Mm-hmm. So let's just savor the moment. Let's have some fun and see what you get out of it. Okay. And that was the best decision for me. If it wasn't for Katrina, I probably would have stayed at my PWI.
Got you.
But in a sense, Katrina was a blessing for me. Mm-hmm. And it definitely made me, I met some of the best friends that I
Yeah.
have to this day, from line sisters to summer scholar things to professors who I still keep in contact with,
Nice.
some of my deans. So it's just, for me, it was the best decision for me.
Gotcha. That
nice.
makes sense to me.
Yeah. It
What
does.
about you? Like,
Well, I grew up in East Chicago, Indiana. So my experience is you're black or Hispanic, like Mexican, Puerto Rican.
true.
If you saw a white person, it was like, where they come from? You know, that, and, or, you know, they were so few and far between. So I wanted to go to a HBCU because, you know, I grew up in that Cosby show, Different World. Like, yeah, I
Yes.
want to go to a black
Yes.
college, you know, and I wanted to go to Howard.
Okay.
But my older brothers went to IU, and they were like, "You are not going to a HBCU." And my oldest brother, he was in HR, and he was just like, "Well,
Okay.
you know, it's a different level of education." And I was just like, but I want to go. Like, it looked fun on, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Different world.
it looks fun. You know, I want to do the step shows and, you know, all of that.
Yes.
And so, you know, they were like, well, come visit us at school. And so, you know, I was like 10, 11, you know, at parties, you know, the union, you know, like.
the union when you see it.
Yeah, I was, you know, I remember I had on the little pleather pants,
Wait a
like where it's like
minute.
half pleather and half
With the jeans, yes.
So,
Okay.
Oh my
you know, I was living my best life, but, you know, and so my brothers were like, no, you can't do it. So that's how I ended up at IU.
Got you.
And it was a culture shock because
Yeah.
I was like, I go from a place where it's mainly black people and, you know, people knocking on my door because my name is Leanne. And it's like, Leanne? Yeah, that's me.
Got you. Yeah.
So
There's the flip.
you know, it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a culture shock, but I'm glad I went there. But now that I'm older and I look back, I wish I would have went to a HBCU or just maybe had more experiences going or hanging out on the campus because the community that I see with HBCUs is like amazing. You know, I had a nephew that went to Jackson State.
Okay.
And I went to their homecoming. I was like, oh, there's black people
Everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
was like amazing, you know, just the fraternities and the sororities and the love that everybody had and how proud people were of their school. I mean, you know, people are proud of IU. Like you say IU, you with some respect on it. But it's like, it's just different when it's like, you know, it's my people. But then when I went to the dorms, I was like, oh,
See?
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
you know.
I would like to point out that Southern University has brand new dorms and apartments.
Got you.
But
But you know,
disclaimer out there, girl.
Right, just
I
gotta
feel
throw
you.
it out there.
yeah, you know, so it's like I guess I learned to respect the, you know, the PWI and the HBCU for the different aspects. So
That's true. I can understand
it's
that.
you know, it's give and takes for both.
Yeah,
And
100.
so we'll see what my kids do.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Watch them want to go one place.
Look,
wanna go the other.
considering that they're twins, I'm gonna need them to figure it out real quick.
Together.
Yes, like wherever you go, do they offer a discount?
Somebody wants you to drop the link for your shirt.
Oh, it's on Etsy, so I have to find the specific person because she's awesome. But yes, I'll drop the link.
Okay.
We got all the links dropping.
Yes. So I think the only experience I have as far as like knowing whatever happens at an HBCU was that my ex-husband ended up going to Clark. And it was funny because, you know, I didn't really feel one way versus another. You know, I was like, oh, okay. And so he had issue after issue. Now, part of that was probably him. Let's just go on and be clear. But that wasn't no shade, I'm just saying. But like from like stuff going on like with his financial aid and stuff, I'm like, well, did you fill out the paperwork? Well, did you turn it in in time? You know, I'm management. And so he's like, yeah. Well, and so he ended up going after, you know, he decided like at 27, he wanted to go back to school. So I was done with school 2 times over. So I'm like, well, you know, call these people and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, where's the bursar? Did you go to the bursar's office? Apparently that experience just wasn't the same. I was like, oh, all you got to do is send an email.
No,
They'll handle it. Yeah,
they don't answer phone
clearly
calls
that
or
wasn't
email.
it.
Oh,
So there
see.
was so much, you know what I mean? Nothing was in order. And then like something happened with one of the professors. I'm like, so what they do? They just cancel class for a week or two.
a week or two.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh.
Are y'all getting a discount for that? What is happening here? Nobody knew nothing. I was like, oh dear, I can't. I was like, I'm blacking out right now. I can't handle it. But knowing, of course, that wasn't the full experience for every black college, you know, but it was just
Not
funny.
at
I was
all.
like, see, our cousins be cutting up sometimes and I can't be sorry.
Yeah.
But no, now as far as sororities, that's often a big misconception as far as women who are in sororities. I think a lot of people like to pit us against each other, right? Just for being in different cliques and gangs and all of that stuff, like, you know, that people want to call it. And I guess first of all, let's take a moment. Let's take a moment, okay, to rep.
I'm a Delta.
Okay.
I am a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
But so what led y'all to choose your organization?
Zeta
Why
chose
Delta?
me.
Okay.
I'm
Zeta
just gonna
chose
say
you.
that
There we
Zeta
go.
chose. That's it. No ifs, ands, questions, nothing.
Mhm.
Like that's what chose me.
Got you.
Everything that I did growing up was Delta related. Delta Academy, Delta Gems.
Okay.
I was a Delta debutante.
Is mom a Delta?
Yes.
Got you.
And friends.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
But my best friend is the AKA. So it's really not an issue.
My best friend is a Delta. Just knowing, I mean, I think at IU, things were it was so cool. Like, I don't know that I saw, unless that was, you know, my turn around. It was cool around when I got there.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
got, you know.
Yeah, because it was some stuff before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was some
yeah.
stuff before,
Look,
but you know, it calmed down.
Gotcha.
And, you know, I don't even know what or why the drama even came about. It wasn't that it was anybody provoking it.
Okay.
It just kind of
It was just there.
happened. It's like, wait a minute, it's like 1,000 of y'all and it's 2 of us, you know, that kind of, you know, maybe it was just like a numbers thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But and then I know it might have been before you crossed, but
Okay.
the Zetas and the Sigmas, like, oh my God, like our bond was like amazing.
Oh, yeah,
Like we
yeah.
used to do slumber parties and just hang out, and you know, it wasn't
It
like
was fizzling right around, like not, and I don't even want to say fizzling, but it wasn't.
it changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It changed. Like we were like this is my brother.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we would just hang out and we would just like call each other 3 o'clock. Like, I'm bored, you know, like just come over, you know, we would just
And
hang
it would be
out.
cool, yeah.
And you know, we end up in Tony Mann's basement. So, you know, anybody that went to IU,
Shout out to Tony Man.
Tony Mann in the basement, you know.
Mhm,
So you know, we would just hang out and just like tell stories. And, you know, I don't know if you were there when Baraka was there, but like one of my fondest memories, like Baraka, he loved Whitney Houston. And I was never been like a big Whitney fan like that, but it's like he was just telling the story. He's like, yeah, Whitney Houston and 7 falls ago. We were like, 7 falls? Like, who tells stories like that? But you know, 20 years later, I still remember Baraka telling me
7 falls ago.
this story about Whitney Houston at a Zeta Sigma slumber party.
That is funny.
You know,
I
so
love
you know,
it.
they were like my family away from home. So it was great.
It's like a real sisterhood, and some people don't believe it. And I think it depends, right? It's going to depend from situation to situation, how strong a bond is. It's just, you know, different factors, of course, playing into that. But I think for me, being an only child was a big thing. You're only child too? Okay. See? You know, I never knew I wanted sisters, really. You know, I don't think I did, you know, but being an only child or being raised an only child, I will say that. Long story. But anyway, very long story. I can truly say that my line sisters, are like my sisters, period. Like, hands down, if something happened to me, I would trust any of them to raise my daughter.
How many line sisters do y'all have?
So there's 7 of us.
Okay.
So 6.
And it's 6 of us. So yeah, I have 5 singers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the flip side of a PWI. The lines are not as big.
Yes, for sure.
HBCUs.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, yeah, it's like 1,000 of us. 1,000.
They'd be like, it was 75. My number 72. You're like, yo, what?
70.
How
Like,
you
do
know
y'all
her
even
name?
know each other?
Now, how many? How many do you have?
It was 50 of us.
Gosh.
Yep.
What number are you? Because you're tall.
I'm 46.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
At the back of the line.
46. Have you ever met another 46?
Yeah, Southern. And
Gotcha.
other
Gotcha.
HBCUs.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
probably would never meet
Wow.
anyone from a
That's
BWI.
fascinating to me.
I know. It's just like, that's a lot.
But
Mhm.
when you have, 500-600 people show
Show up at the
Yeah.
informational.
you know,
What do you do?
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not.
That's not a lot. So,
It was 50 of us.
It's fascinating.
yeah.
Now, do y'all think that where somebody goes to school influences their decisions?
I think so. And the region of the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the culture's different,
Yep.
right? From
Yes.
school. And, you know, I've I knew of a young lady whose mother was in a certain organization. And so I was like, oh, well, did you go through intake? And she said, she was like, no, she said, I was going to go to this other organization. And I was like, oh, what your mama say? And she was like, well, she said she supported, but she wasn't going to pay for it. I was like, hey, I understand.
That part.
And she said, but like that particular sorority was not popping on campus. She was like, I wanted to. She was like, but I really couldn't rock with them. And I was like, I guess I can understand that though. Like, I could see that kind of influence in certain ways. Like, I think for her, she was okay with not being in a sorority, period. Right. So she just chose to not.
But that
go
seems like
through.
it's happening more and more
Mhm.
nowadays. Like with with the younger generation that they're
Yeah.
just not pledging.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't get that vibe.
Really?
Really?
Okay. Maybe it's just
And-
at the
And I bet it's
PWI.
different. Yeah.
Maybe
They have
that's
a
what
big
it's-
line, so
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
bet you that is different.
It
I think
probably is.
I think at the HBCUs there's always going to be
Because
that
the
interest
culture is
because
so-
that's just what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The culture is huge. Like, I'm telling you, like, when I saw how they were at Jackson State, I was like,
Well, y'all, how about this? Why don't y'all come to homecoming when
we
when it say-
really
when it say
should.
homecoming,
Please
Southern
look, please
homecoming?
take
Yeah.
me. I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that. I mean, the closest we've gotten was Circle City Classic. Well,
Right.
I've gotten.
But that's
Yeah.
a good one too, though.
yeah. But,
Mhm.
Indiana,
But it wasn't.
it's-
You
it's
didn't
different.
get because it's not
'Cause it's
on
a classic,
campus.
it's not
Yeah,
a-
yeah,
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
And we didn't go to the games.
Yeah.
I think I might have
No.
maybe. Did
I
go
went
to
for
one?
Battle of the Bands, and then
Yeah, I
left.
was like, maybe I
and that
went
was
to the
it.
Battle of the Bands and I went on about my business.
That was it.
No,
Like,
thank you.
no.
I was like, who are they? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know who to root
But
for.
it's like it's different though, because I know when I went to homecoming at IU, I'm like, we never tailgated,
Mm-mm.
and now they're
Until we come
tailgating.
back. Oh,
And then I'm just like, oh, so
Yeah.
this is what, like, we missed out on all of that. So I
Seriously.
don't know what we
The
did.
tailgate is like that's one of the main events.
I don't
Yeah.
know what we did.
I don't.
Real
I don't
talk. And I stayed across from the stadium. I'm like, this was not happening around me.
Oh
I
my
know.
I don't.
I don't remember.
did y'all
it like
start
that.
doing that?
Like, what
Who-
happened?
Yeah.
Maybe we were
We
somewhere.
needed
asleep.
a whole. Clearly. Clearly, sometimes I was working it since I was in sports.
Yeah. Oh,
like the
yeah.
football game.
Yeah. We all
Man.
worked. We definitely
Mhm.
worked. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't
So
get it.
interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
It-
different, right?
different
But
experiences.
doesn't negate, one person's education versus another. That's the biggest takeaway, as far as just being successful. I think, regardless of where you go, what you do, whether it's even like going into trade school or, whatever, it's just what you put into it, what you get out of it.
I was just gonna say, I think our newly elected VP proved that your education really doesn't matter.
Absolutely. I think that's going to change the game. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Madam Kamala Harris. Madam VP.
Looks like
Let's get it correct. Yes. Stroll to the polls. We did
Yeah,
that.
sure
Yes,
did.
We did that.
yes.
In my Perry.
Did you? I know
Every
that's
time
right.
I vote, I wear Perry.
Okay. Paraphernalia. Greek paraphernalia. So her Delta shirts and hats. And stuff. Hey, there you go.
Hey,
That's your Perry.
representing.
I know.
Represent.
Okay, so let's talk about social media. How do you all do you feel like you have to handle yourselves a certain way when representing yourselves on social media?
Facebook, I'm way more censored than I am on Instagram or Twitter.
Okay.
Facebook just has way more family members.
Got you.
And people who I've worked with tend to be on there. So I'm just way more censored on there. But Instagram and Twitter, those are typically people I know in real life. So
Okay. Okay. Now, do you prefer, like, are you private?
100%.
Got you. Got you. Got you. What about you?
I'm open.
Yeah.
I am careful with what I post just because with acting and everything, you say something that, who knows, I may get on something and then they'll drag up something from
That's
my
so true.
past. So
Black Twitter.
yeah. Yeah. Like that didn't age well. Yeah. So I just try to, I just practice what my grandma and my mom taught me. Like, don't say anything on social media that you wouldn't say to a person's face.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't want, like, revisited on you.
True.
So I try to be fair. And that's it. If I go in, I go in.
Yeah.
But I still try to be respectful. Kind of.
Yeah. I've seen it. You've done well.
I just shut it down.
I was like, look at her growing up.
Like, hey, right. Blue Rage has definitely come a long way. That was my line name.
See, that's probably, and when I say I post stuff, it's not like it's bad because my page is literally just me.
Yeah.
But I don't get into it with trolls on social media because there was the meme where it's like when you see two people arguing, you don't know who's the dumb one. So I don't put myself in those situations because they're not going to comprehend what you're saying anyway because they're so set and they don't have the intellectual depth to be able to comprehend it. So don't even lower yourself to their standards. Just unfriend them and block them and keep it moving.
Keep it moving, yeah. But I go on there and it's like I get inspiration from people. Like your best friend posted a scripture one morning and it spoke to me, and I went and put it on a shirt, and and I wear it, and I'm just like, yeah, I feel good when I wear this because it's to my heart. So I go on there and I probably scroll through the first like 5 or 10 people because after that it's like, okay, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and I'm just like, okay, I'm off of it. But yeah, I use it for what it's for. I use it a lot for marketing, like for the business and stuff like that.
For sure.
And Instagram, I probably use it a little. Well, I don't use it more. I probably scroll more on that.
Got you.
Because
you don't post as much.
I don't post as much.
Okay.
Because some of the connects I have in the entertainment industry are on Instagram, so I kind of got to keep up on that end. So
yeah, I think it's hard to balance that because I mean, for me, I'm totally open, so that gets tricky.
You're a brave soul.
But it's because I'm a writer, right? And so you know what I mean. And so part of that, if I'm not writing a book, I still need to be out there and engage, and and really, sometimes I think people care more about, my random musings and such, you know what I mean? They might throw in when's the next book, but they like, hey, that's what I was looking for. And I'm like, okay, here you go. Or they look for my daughter, oh, she's getting so big, so it's those little things that keep me connected. Yeah. But it gets tricky sometimes, sometimes I'll be like, no, delete. But to your point, I don't want to say something that I feel like I need to take back or that I'm going to regret. I'm sure there's something floating out there in some manner, but that's how I felt at the time. Yeah. Especially on Twitter.
Oh, gosh.
Because I was feeling very fancy free on Twitter, especially when it was newer. But it was a good place to connect, with celebrities and stuff. And I think that's important. And, quite frankly, just having to be wide open is a challenge.
Twitter is like my dark place. Like if I
love Twitter,
it's like,
gosh, I love me some Twitter.
It's like I go to Twitter and I'll post stuff I won't post on
Absolutely.
Facebook.
There's certain,
because it's like, but then it's like I feel like Twitter, like this is like is this where all the depressed people go? Because it's
no, girl,
it's like that depressing now.
That's how my I don't know if it's just
your
my
feed. You got you got to change it.
I'm like, oh my god, it's like like. I'm like, look, y'all stop smoking weed because
clearly you're in feeling.
It's taking you in a bad spot. Just like come up, just put it down.
My Twitter is always hilarious. My friends love when I send them the latest memes or some video that just went viral.
Okay,
I love it. I love.
I use
Twitter.
TikTok. My kids got me hooked on TikTok, so I just be
I
like,
have not ventured into there because I'm like, I can't focus on something else right now.
Oh
I'm
my
scared.
goodness.
I heard it's hard too. I need a simple.
And I'm
social
gonna be
media.
mad if I can't get the dances down.
You know what? You can go on YouTube and
learn
it's a
them.
guy that, because that's how I learned that's how I learned one of the dances with my girls, and it was fun. And I was like, because I used to be like, can y'all stop? But it's a workout. Like you
See.
You put it on your Apple Watch to make sure you get.
See,
your
I'm an
calories.
Android user. That's all. I'm just like, I may
baby.
have to switch to iPhone just so I can get on Clubhouse.
I'm on there.
Oh,
I haven't explored yet, but I'm on there. Clubhouse,
I
yeah.
can't do that
Clubhouse
one
seems like
either.
it's gonna be dope. Like I'm probably gonna do my recaps on Clubhouse
Oh, yeah,
because
'cause
I
you
can
can
talk
and
instead of doing all
chime
that
in.
writing. Because sometimes I don't be feeling like it, which is why my blog isn't updated. So I can talk on Clubhouse, but I gotta wait till after the 10th.
well,
when
you can go live on Instagram too. Just set up their dates and times if
That's
you want to
true.
do it.
But see, then I get frustrated because I'm like, so hello, I'm live, people. Come on, don't be embarrassing me with 3 viewers.
That's why I would never.
Because
go live.
people, yeah, because like
Yeah.
sometimes people just aren't available to be looking at you right
Yeah.
then. So then what?
But you know what? My kids go
here.
live and they have like hundreds. I'm like, how is
That's
your
that
live jumping
generation.
off? I'm like, what?
That's
is-
that generation.
I feel like if I went live, I'd probably have like my five
Me.
faithful viewers.
Hey
Me.
guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
friends.
Which hey, no,
Hi.
hey,
Hey,
we would
mama.
appreciate you. But it's just like, and my mama, absolutely not.
Yeah,
He will
yeah.
not be on there. But yeah, it's
Or
just-
Levy.
I
Levy
did
about-
Clubhouse and I didn't know how it worked. So like 2 a.m, I hit the button and I didn't know they talked. So I ain't want to cuss on your show, but yeah, that part.
oh no.
I didn't know how it worked. Now my first time pressing the button, everybody was hollering, talking. I was just touching all kinds of.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
2 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
Oh.
They talk at all times. And they so like that kind of happened to me the other day. I got a notification. I was really just trying to dismiss the notification. Accidentally hit it. They start talking. So mind you, the iPhone is my second phone. I'm an Android girl. I have no idea what the heck I'm doing.
Somebody said, Gaming said Android is better than iPhone.
Ooh,
Yes.
you need to be saved.
what I'm talking
in
about.
2021.
Android all day.
Android. Yeah, 'cause
I look at that iPhone like it's so. I don't even
it's
know.
too restrictive. Like my daughter, like she accidentally reset her phone and lost everything.
See,
With an Android, it's
See.
backed up. Like,
Well, mine is backed up too.
she hadn't backed it up, but
I
it's just
refuse
like,
to
but like
give my
even like
baby
her
an
social
iPhone.
media
I
accounts,
don't know
like
what the hell going
everything
on
is
with
gone.
With mine, I have it set up to where whenever I am home and connected to my Wi-Fi, it automatically backs up when my
Oh.
laptop's on.
You hear that,
I don't
Layla?
deal with
You
that.
got to back it up. You got to back
however
it up.
that works.
But
See,
she was in tears. She was like, oh.
Yes.
The
Yeah, it's the
iPhone.
iPhone. She lost everything, like all of her drafts and stuff like that
Oh.
wasn't posted. She's like, I had like 600 drafts. I'm
Oh,
like, who
Lord.
has 600?
Why do they do that?
She's like, well, I don't want to post. I'm like, y'all are weird, but it's like that's what they do.
That's
It's
what
like
they
they
do.
have
I don't
one.
understand it.
They don't even do that. They
I
put
don't
like
get it.
one post up and everything is in their stories or it's on TikTok in their draft. She's like, but I had videos with my aunties and like cousins and all this other stuff. And I was like, I was sympathetic, but I was just like, you should have just posted it.
Yeah, like I don't.
Or
even know
then
what
I
to
was like,
tell
if you had an Android, that wouldn't
It
happen.
wouldn't happen.
But yeah. Anyway,
Just saying.
I've never ran into
I'm
those
with you on that.
issues.
I'm with y'all on that. So let's talk about real quick. Do y'all have a role model? Like who do you look up to? You could be famous, somebody in your family, anybody.
I think that for me, it really depends on where I am in my life at that time.
Mm.
Because your role model or a mentor can change according to what's going on in your life.
sure.
So for me, it can be various different things.
Mhm.
I do have, fortunately, I have friends who are highly successful,
Mhm.
and my circle is very, very in tuned and very diverse.
Nice.
So I can easily bounce things off of them and reach out to them and ask them for opinions or advice on anything. So, and it just honestly it varies with where I am in my life.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So basically, she didn't give us an answer.
I didn't because I mean, mine varies
No.
for my life, but
Yeah.
other people are different. You know, some people can go to the same. And now I do have people who I go to about everything, but like it really just depends on what's going on in my life.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm with you. I do agree though.
Yeah.
Because like when I was asked before, I kind of just had to just come up with somebody, but I knew that there were multiple people. Because yes, and he was like, "Okay, answer the question." So I did.
I mean, I'm gonna have to ride with her answer. I mean, it's different people for different things.
Yeah.
You know, like my husband, that's like my hype man. He like, shoot, do what you gonna do.
I
I got
love
your
it.
back.
I
And
love
I'm just
that.
like, you
And
sure
that's
you got my
important.
back? He like, yeah, you know, I'm a man. I'm just like, all right, you know, so
I love it.
I'm a roll with that. Then it's other times where it's like my brother Levy, you know, I may call him at 7 o'clock in the morning and it's 6 o'clock in the morning his time and he's up and I'm like, hey, you know, I was thinking about such and such and such, and he feels the same way because you know, Levy, he doesn't text like one text.
Okay.
It's like every thought is a separate text. So
Oh,
Levy,
Lord.
stop. Just put it all in one if you can. I know your mind moves fast, but
Got you.
just saying. But then, you know, but when I was younger, it was my older brother. You know, he was like that role model. Like when I grow up, I want to, you know, I want a good job. I want a good
Yeah.
house. You know, I want, you know, the family. You know, that kind
Okay.
of thing. And you know, my mom. You know, I love her. We had like this love-hate relationship. You know, I'm the youngest, so it's like I got away with whatever.
Got
And if
you.
you ain't give me what I wanted, I'm going over my granny house.
Just a whole brat.
And so, you know, so it's like, you know, I when I talked when I was younger, it's like she pushed me and she pushed me and she pushed me. And I'm the type of person, if you push me, I'm not gonna give you what you want. So it's like, just say what you want, leave me alone, and I'm gonna do it because I want to please you. And it's like now that I'm older, it's like I look at my mom, I'm like, dang, you used to be so mean and now you like soft. Like what, you know, what's wrong with you? So it's just, you know, over time and like she said, situation, it kind of evolves. But then I have a great circle of friends and it's crazy because none of my friends are friends. None of my friends are friends. Like they may get along if they see each other, say hi or whatever, but
Interesting.
none of my
my
friends are
gosh.
friends. Very few.
Look, now I'm like,
Very few of my good friends are
Yeah.
friends. I don't, you know, it's just
that
weird.
might be fair to say.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. None of them.
Now, yeah, I have my friends that are associates or they know each other because like most of us like went to IU and they're cool, but yeah, they don't call each other or anything.
No.
Oh, so they really don't rock with each other like that?
No.
Okay,
Like,
because
I
you were
mean,
like,
it's-
no.
That's so interesting.
Like they don't, because it's, you know, it's like I have a, like the way I am is like, if I talk to you, I rock with you. Period. Like
Otherwise, you do
other-
not want to
like-
be on the other side of
like,
that.
you know,
Yeah,
it's
but-
like I can have associates and, you know, we can be cool.
Yeah.
But it's like if I'm not picking up the phone talking to you on a regular, or if you haven't heard from me in like, I don't know, a month, you know.
Take it, believe it.
And then like I had you know, my nephew, he passed away in 2018. And that was like my baby. And I had a friendship where it's like I hadn't talked to this person in a while, and I kind of said like, you know what, if we were really, really friends, and I haven't reached out to you in like the darkest part of my life, we really ain't, you know.
Wow.
So,
It'll show you some things.
you know, it just, so it's like this, I don't know, my friends are like in pockets. Like when, you know, you come to me, I got you. I go to you, you got me. And that's just, and it's worked.
Okay. I mean,
That's
but I mean, we all have our.
the crazy, and mine is complete opposite.
Okay.
So my best friends, they actually, first of all, we're in a group text together, but they talk outside of me. Like they have their own friendship. Both of them are both my best friends, but they're not
But then
best
they
friends.
have their.
But they have their own relationship, friendship, whatever.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem with
I was about to
it.
say, do you ever get like,
Yeah,
like,
no.
Like, y'all want me?
right?
And well, none of us live in the same state anyway.
Okay.
So, but they're also parents too, and they both have girls, and their girls are both
Yeah.
my goddaughters. So it's just a different dynamic.
That's cool.
and but my different friend pockets, everyone is friends with each other.
Within the pocket.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, within the
So
pockets. Yeah.
So, but if we are all together, then they will, they'll talk to each other. For instance, Erica,
Yeah.
for my birthday a couple years ago, my best friends reached out to her to get a spa because they bought me a spa day for my
Nice.
birthday, and so they wanted
So
to
they,
get
so they had to coordinate and all that.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
cool when you could do that. Like
Yeah.
when you know of the other friends, so you can be like tap tap. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of them know of each other. Like they know names. But it's not like, hey, well, let me call.
Oh no. Oh,
Well,
no.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they may know names.
Maybe like on
but-
social media, like they
Yeah.
hit each other up or something.
Yeah,
but yeah.
No, I'm
No.
quick to start a group
But it's
text
like-
with different friends. Hey,
Okay.
this person is thinking about this. Can you connect them with this?
Link 'em,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm quick to do it, and y'all take me out the group text. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't wanna
handle
be
Oh
it.
in
yeah, I connect, but it's
Yeah.
like my best friend. She already knows. She be like, yeah, I was with someone. I'm like, I don't care, and she be like, oh. Okay, but then she do me the same way,
That's
so it's
hilarious.
like, look, I don't care, you know. She
That's
like, oh,
funny.
okay, yeah, you know. So like, I know of them, but they not your best friend, so it's like whatever.
Anyway, as we were saying, right?
Yeah, yeah. But
So
you
I'm
know,
gonna tell you what's funny. And I don't know if you ever knew this, but my last book, my novella, Fire Reignited,
Mhm.
I have a character named Leanne,
oh my goodness, no, I didn't know this.
and there's a character named Summer, and they are like connected. Like,
Mhm.
and what's crazy? Totally did not even realize I did that until after I was done.
Wow.
And I'm going through it. I'm like, oh, so they're line sisters, and Summer's
That's
actually
your
my
line
pledge
sister?
mom.
yeah.
Oh my god.
And she's actually Summer's my pledge mom. But it was just like, oh, I'm gonna name, she's eclectic, so I'm gonna name her Summer, or she's gonna go by the name Summer, And then I'm like, okay. And then her homegirl. So it's R&B girl groups, right? And so I was paying homage to a lot of the the famous
Good music.
Yeah.
90s R&B girl groups, right? And so Leanne from SWV.
Yeah.
And so she goes by Lily most of the time in the book. But yeah, and I stopped and I had this moment like, what? I didn't ask it, but that happens a lot. But I was like, I've been meaning to tell you that for a long
I didn't
time.
know
Like
that.
it just kind of happened. I was like, well, let's rock with it.
Hey, that's what's
Here
up.
we are.
So cute,
Yeah,
though. That's
a little
what's up.
magic moment.
Yeah, yeah. up.
Let's see. What would y'all say is your biggest fear?
Failure.
I'm with you on that.
Besides snakes,
Oh, yeah.
My biggest one truly is not having a family, not having my own children and husband. That's probably the biggest
Gotcha.
one.
Mm.
And that's just where I am in my life.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest fear.
That's real. I can
That's-
appreciate
I
that
can-
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Skip the teenage years though. What's
Oh, my-
look,
I'll probably be like 60 with my kids.
you're gonna be like, look,
And not even
hold on.
caring.
You're
You like-
gonna be somewhere
Right.
ready to
Eat all the cake, go to the party, whatever.
Probably
Get out my
50s.
face.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, probably in my late 40s, 50s. So
It'll be okay.
I mean, I was late. I had my kids. I was like 29,
okay.
and that was late for me.
I'm gonna be 34 next month.
You look good. You all right. You all right. You all right.
Real talk.
Be careful. The longer you wait, you may have twins. Real
Oof.
talk. Serious.
That's
That's
so
a
true.
2-for-1 deal, though.
I know it's great, but then it's together.
Until it
You
ain't.
just be like, love y'all.
Ooh-wee. Yeah. I used to want twins.
I wouldn't mind twins.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I always wanted twins, but it's
Okay.
like it was so crazy because when I got pregnant, I didn't obviously I didn't know it was twins, but like my sister had passed away. Oh Lord, jeez, 2003, and I had a dream with her, and she was rubbing her stomach, cracking up, and I was just like. Okay, maybe I ate something crazy, and I went to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh, it's twins." And it was like,
was laughing
when I was a
too.
kid, she was all like, "You gonna be the worst mother because you hate vegetables and da 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 da."
Funny.
So I was like, "Okay, that's her coming back," cracking jokes like, "Ha ha ha," I got you.
That's
So
funny. I love
it's like
that.
they my biggest pain, but they're my biggest blessing, and
Mm.
that's why I say failure is like my biggest fear because it's like I have so many people that are no longer here
Yeah.
that missed out on opportunities in life. I'm like, I can't let them down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had these little people depending on me. So it's like, I don't care what I do. I could be stocking shelves at Kroger's or Publix, whatever I do.
you gotta do. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna fail. I'm not gonna let you down. So it's like, I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
Just-
absolutely.
Because if you don't try, you done already failed. So
For sure. For sure.
that's my biggest fear. Just letting people down and just them saying, oh, you just messed up.
So, real quick, what do y'all have planned? What's in store for y'all for 2021?
Hopefully go back outside again. travel.
Yeah.
That's the plan. But in all seriousness, I have quite a few books that I ordered recently and that I'm currently reading, and some that I'm rereading.
Okay.
So checking off those books and continuing to live intentionally. About 2.5 months apart from each other, I lost a line sister and one of my pro fights. And so they live life to the fullest. Not saying that I didn't, because I definitely have, but just doing things way more intentional and continuing to protect my peace and, not let things get to me. So this year I am truly manifesting all happiness, good vibes, everything going the way I feel. Well, the way God wants them to go for me.
I know that's
Right,
right.
right.
I know that's
Hold
hold on. It's
Yeah,
not me.
yeah.
It's not
Not me.
Yes.
God
Absolutely.
is in control.
Yes.
So, and truly just listening and to whatever He tells me.
Love it.
That's what's up.
Love it.
Well, for me, a friend and I, Scotty, and her husband, we have a production company called Avery White Films. Our first short film is dropping on January 15th, where you can purchase tickets on Eventbrite, and we'll send out links. And we'll be streaming it on YouTube, and then we're looking for more scripts and more content, so that way we can kind of bring it to life. And
Not saying any names.
not saying any names, but I know a few writers.
I'm ready.
To the left.
Let's do it.
And then the White Twins official, I'll be releasing our Black History Month designs and our Valentine's Day designs. So that's the intentional part. I have to get better with planning and dropping
in advance,
stuff.
yeah.
Because, sometimes you just never know when people are looking to buy. So it's like, let me just have the stuff ready. So yeah, that's it. And then with Marcus, that's if you're still on here, he's casting, and we're starting up production and table reads for another play.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's gonna be live or done via Zoom, but so it's just like a whole lot of creative stuff
I'm here for
going on for 2021, and I'm excited. Hey, trying.
Not trying, doing.
Doing. Oh, okay. We had technical difficulty. Sorry. We good. Oh, okay. Okay. Hitting the chair. Ladies, it has been a pleasure.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Felicia said, you look at me one more time and tell me something.
Oh, she looked at you.
Felicia gave me that eye like, you got one more again. That
Like, stand
that HRI came out. Yeah. Yeah. HRI came out. I'm going to suspend you for 2 weeks.
I would never.
I love it. Gonna get written up.
Wouldn't do that either.
You're like, I'm not doing those things right now. Thank y'all for being on the show. This has been so dope. I think we've had a good conversation. Hope you all enjoyed your visit with me.
I did. Time
appreciate
flew by
y'all.
fast.
I know, right?
I was nervous. Like,
And it's just, I'm like, there's so much more to say, but I guess we got to go. But we will drop the links to the prayer
yes, the prayer
journal.
book.
What were you supposed to drop?
nobody asked for anything.
No, they did.
The business links.
Oh, my business links. Okay,
Yes.
I'll put that out there.
Yes.
She don't know. Do we have time?
Oh.
And I'm supposed to be doing
So.
the Etsy situation.
Okay.
Everybody watching, please subscribe Disco 100 Radio. It's free to subscribe.
Yes.
Disco 100
Just sent it to
Radio.
someone the
Support
other
is
day.
free.
Support
Support
is
is
free.
absolutely free. Well, I guess the main thing for my links, the White Twins, it's on Instagram, it's _ the White Twins with the Z, THEWHITE And then on Facebook, it's the White Twins Official. The Z in twins is instead of the S. Or you can just find me on my Facebook. It's my name, Leanne Joshua White. And the same thing for Instagram. So
Bam.
So this is how, I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but that's how the prayer journal looks, the outside of it. Yeah, I don't know if y'all
Can
can
you
see
see
it. Probably not.
don't swipe up.
Nothing's in there. Nothing crazy. Yeah, they can see it. But we'll still drop the link for y'all.
Yeah. And then
I
y'all
should get
wondering about
commission
my
off this.
shirt. I know, right? I'm gonna hit her up though. She was super cool. Make sure, like, of course, a lot of people make this shirt, but like I got mine on Etsy. The lady's name is Woodson Wonderland. So excellent customer service. I got it customized to have my school colors, obviously. But yeah, but I'm sure. We got a phone call.
Now, who's going to talk to us?
I know.
DISCO100 Radio. Oh,
All right.
don't be,
it's all
don't,
good.
don't
We
be
wanted to talk
pranking
to
us.
y'all.
Dang,
I'm not trying to go home yet. Sorry, honey.
I know, right? We got more to say. But no, y'all got the links. Please make sure you tune in every week to Brains Behind the Beauty. I host every first Monday of the month, so please make sure you tune in next month for more guests, more fun, shenanigans, all of that. And again, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Great.
This was great. It was,
Maybe we'll come back after they go to homecoming with me.
We will. Part
Yeah,
two.
right. I
Absolutely.
joined the praying group. Bye.